Well, it looks like Xbox is doing some homework for their next generation console, and this is all thanks to some new reports. But let's find out why they're looking to get ahead of the curve, up next. What's going on, guys? It's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. Also, apologies if you don't see my face today. I don't know why. Things are acting up on the back end of making these here videos. So if you don't see it, I'm sorry. I know some of you guys are upset. Not really, I just figured that'd be funny. Also, before we get into today's news, I just want to shout out each and every one of you guys that is just joining this channel. Apparently, we're on the YouTube recommended page, which is something I never thought I'd be saying, but I am thankful for each and every one of you guys. It means the world to see that number go up and get near 1,000. It's just awesome. Let's get into today's news. So, Xbox has been one step behind, it seems, ever since the days of the dreaded Xbox One reveal. And admittedly, Xbox themselves stated this was not the generation to lose. And since then, they've had a few hits here and there. But I do think it's safe to say, more often than not, they done goofed, and that's on multiple fronts. And believe me, I hate saying these words myself, because I am an Xbox fan at heart, and that's simply because I do love the games that are on the platform, and I do love Game Pass. And we've talked before about a handful of problems Xbox has encountered this generation, more specifically when it comes to that Xbox Series S. There have been many stories that developers are having a tough time working with this console, and we've seen titles like Baldur's Gate 3, and even Black Myth Wukong, allegedly, all get delays because it's hard to release on this platform. Well, it looks like Xbox is now being proactive on this matter, because a new report from The Verge points to this idea that an Xbox outreach program is currently probing developers and their supposed gripes with the console. Quote, Microsoft wants to hear from game developers who might be skipping on the Xbox or those already building games using the company's developer tools. The software maker is expanding its Xbox research team to include the community of game developers seeking feedback directly from developers about tools, support, and the overall pain points of the Xbox platform. Now, here's a little bit of this excerpt that I just thought was funny and I wanted to include. Quote, if you aren't on Xbox, we'd love to know why. And honestly, if you are using our competitors' products, you probably have a great perspective we could learn from. Again, honestly, that little bit right there at the end, I thought that was funny. Mainly because it sounds like they're cheating on their homework, which I have done, admittedly, hand up. I've done it countless times, and that sounds like it. All jokes aside, I think these are the proper steps that Xbox must take to hit the ground running, and this is all towards their next generation of consoles. The due diligence they are doing now towards these consoles and working with developers will most likely ensure a smooth transition here, which for Xbox, I think is so desperately needed. And if they just so happen to gather up some intel as to why developers find the PlayStation platform a whole lot easier to work with, that could also work in Xbox's favor. But I also feel as if this is a damn good chance for developers themselves to launch some counterpoints to Xbox and share their thoughts not only on the hardware side of things, but I feel like Game Pass could be brought up here as well. Developers could ask more questions here and get a better perspective as to how games actually fare on Game Pass. And for that, I looked at titles like Pentiment and Grounded as those two games that really found success because of Xbox Game Pass. If they didn't release on Game Pass, I don't know how those numbers would have fared. It also does help that Xbox might just be exploring a handheld console within this next generation. So that adds a whole new dynamic to the fold here when talking about Xbox, because that would be the first Xbox console of its kind. So having a mobile console, Game Pass, and that largest technical leap forward all could really entice developers that would normally not work closely with Xbox. And if the reports are true that Xbox is looking to release this next generation a lot earlier than expected, again, developers could get a leg up here and start crafting games with that platform in mind. And that's all to get on a platform that is quote unquote the best place to play said game. But with all that being said, I'm gonna pass this off to you guys. What do you think of this groundwork that Xbox is now laying? Do you think it pays off in the long run? Or are we just stuck in one big cycle? But that about does it here. I've been Kalo, I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content, drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.